Trigger warning, in this episode we discuss death, fatal illness, and divorce, so it's sure to be a good one. Also, there's some nasty improv that's not safe for work or parents. Children should hear it though, it's good for them.
So I'm with Mollie today, and I'm blessed with the opportunity to do something that I don't do very often. I went to a dog park, and at the dog park, me and Mollie got to look at other dogs and touch them and say hello and play fetch, and it had me thinking, oh, this is what I was missing, like in life. Like, this is my happy place.
The dog park.
Is a dog park. So I guess what I want to know is if you guys have a happy place of sorts.
Aww.
That's pretty sweet.
Thanks, man.
It's pretty
That is
wholesome.
really nice. Jay, you want to answer first?
What is my happy place? Where do I start?
Everywhere, right?
Molly, you go first.
I have a few, so we can sort of volley. The first one that comes to mind is like this area inside of me that's just below my belly button. It's got like this spongy texture. It's called a G-spot.
Jesus Christ.
That's got to be number one.
Okay, so we got dog park and the G-spot. Now, Justin, it's all up to you, baby. Bring us home. What's your happy place?
Probably my G-spot.
Shut the fuck up.
Do you know where
Talk
that is?
about your prostate.
Well,
Tell us about your prostate, actually, Justin.
You want me to?
Yeah, tell us about it.
All right, I never had a finger in my ass until I did.
And?
It was nice.
Yeah, it
yes.
My head hurts.
Write it down.
I've got work.
Write it down.
My car died.
Write it down.
I've got no drive. The car is a metaphor for motivation. So it's kind of.
Fine, I guess. Journal me fine,
He liked
I
it.
guess.
It was nice, he said.
It was nice. I loved it. I liked it.
You
Yeah,
loved it. Don't
why not?
backtrack. You can love it.
I mean, as long as the fingernails are trimmed.
For sure.
Uh-huh.
And just think of the
It's
possibilities.
pretty cool.
Starting with one finger, Jay,
I didn't
it
realize.
can only go up from there.
I
Think
didn't
of
know.
2. Think of 3. Think of a tool.
Okay.
Think of a tool,
A
a
machine.
toy,
No.
A weapon.
an organ,
Easy
a
does it.
sword,
Let's get in there,
a
buddy.
fist.
Relax, guys.
Yeah, let's ledge our way into Justin's rectum.
Let's not Heath Ledger our way into my
Okay.
ass.
Nice, man.
Very good.
It's Journal Me Fine, I guess.
I guess.
Mollie Adolf, Justin Kosisky, Andy Vega. It's an interesting ep today. I'm in Mollie's apartment in a different room.
He's in my bedroom.
And I'm in a different room in a different part of the country.
For now.
But you're basically right next to us, is what it feels like to me.
At heart.
Yeah, I feel pretty far from you guys. I'm just kidding.
No, you're
I
not.
feel close to you, Jay.
I do too. I miss you a lot, Justin. My
Yeah.
parents are getting the vaccine.
I hang out
Um,
with your parents all the time.
Don't go
I-
near to my parents. I don't trust the fluids that are going in and out of
I'm
your
trying-
bloodstream. I'm
I'm trying to-
afraid.
I'm trying to get them acclimated.
How?
Your fluids. He's
Yeah.
trying to build herd immunity inside of his own body.
I go into restaurants and I open my mouth over plates and I go,
Ew.
Do you think plates give people the coronavirus?
no, while they're talking, while they're eating, I inhale
Okay.
and I hold my breath for as long as I can. I go to Andy's house. Well, his
My
old
parents'
house.
house.
His parents'
Keeping-
house.
Keeping
And
your
I-
breath held.
Yeah, and I open the door and I exhale.
Mm.
It's fucked up, man.
No, it's
Okay.
out of love. It's called love.
You're not allowed near my parents until they get that second dose.
That vax. My dad got
Uh-huh.
that dirty vaccine.
Oh, congratulations, Larry.
Both
Yep.
dads. I only have one that I know of.
No, I mean, he got both stings.
Oh, yeah, he got both. He's done. And my
Damn.
brother just got the first one because he's
Wow.
a public defender in Chicago and he has to go into jails. Which is ironic because we're so slow to vaccinate incarcerated people and yet very willing to vaccinate the people who go inside of jails.
Molly, what do you got for us?
Oh boy. Little trigger warning before I read it. We're going to talk about eating disorders and divorce and sexual trauma.
Jeez, the trifecta.
So buckle up,
Awesome.
daddies. All right. November 5th, 2020. Thoughts passing so quickly.
Day
I
after
want
my
to-
birthday. So
You gonna say
So-
something, Molly?
Yeah, I was going to say something. I was about to actually pour my heart out, but
got it.
For Andy or just
no. For Fernando.
There's no trigger warning for it's my birthday. Day after my birthday.
No, I don't know why that
If-
would be a trigger.
if one of us were born on that day?
It's actually triggering for
It's-
some.
It's pretty triggering.
You guys
Sorry.
are such snowflakes. Liberal scum.
Go on.
Okay. November 5th, 2020. Thoughts passing so quickly. I want to do yoga, post on my site, journal. I feel my ADD going insane. I go to do something, get distracted, then remember the thing I was going to do, go to do it, but then I find a detour, start that, don't finish it, remember the other thing, and go back to that. This song came on my Discover Weekly called If I Could Talk to a Younger Me. And there was one lyric that said, "This time on earth, it moves too fast, and when it's gone, it's gone." I spoke to my aunt yesterday, my great aunt who has breast cancer, but she's going strong now. This is a few months later. Because my friend told me it's getting really bad. She still had all her umph and power over the phone, but I could tell she was really putting it on for me. She was so appreciative I called. I kept thinking trigger warning, we talk about death. I kept thinking what it must be like to know that you're dying. I'd be losing my mind, I think. I would feel so powerless. She asked me what I've been up to, and all I could think was it doesn't matter. Do something. I don't know. Make it stop. I'm so sad. One by one, they're all going. I never really let myself imagine life after that generation was gone, but it's fast approaching. Even seeing Meme, who's my grandma, at Lindsay's wedding in her flats, she looked beautiful, and she was Mima, but those shoes reminded me that she's not untouchable or immortal, and right before our eyes, she's getting older. It's bleak, I know, but I also know it's part of life. Confronting death is never easy, no matter how many times you've done it. I think of, and then I list a few four family members who have passed away in the recent past. I couldn't have imagined them gone, and suddenly that's reality. It hits you in the face. They warned me to enjoy college, to go slow. By the end of college, I was mindlessly complaining, dragging myself around. Now the thought of ever missing improv practice in college is absurd, but then I was just tired and wanted to stay in bed. I know life goes fast and things are changing and nothing is forever, but for so long that wasn't the case. We lived in one apartment, one family. We went to one synagogue, one school, one summer camp. We had family events and everyone was there. Like dolls in a dollhouse, no question. You put them in the toy box last night, they're going to be there in the morning. That's how I felt seeing Mima and Papa at Passover growing up. Of course they're here. This wouldn't be this without them here. And now I see it change. People graduate, move, die, break up, leave. Nothing is forever. So it shouldn't be disappointing or shocking when it doesn't last. It should be cherished while it's here. This next part is referring to a weekly activity my dad wanted to do with me weekly. I don't want to work categories into my life week to week, but I want to appreciate and spend quality time with my dad while I can. How do I implement this philosophy of appreciating what I have realistically in my day-to-day life? The day today in Syracuse was hard. It was gray, cold, and lonely. The walk to Zamboni practice was daunting sometimes, and so was the socializing. It's easy to sit here now that I'm home and say what I should have done. But when you couple nostalgia with real life, there have to be some sacrifices, right? If my dad passed away, I'd be devastated for a million reasons, but specifically because I keep canceling on categories. I don't know if I'd be pissed I didn't just suck it up and play every week. But what about my lived experiences? I like doing other things on Thursday nights. That doesn't make me a bad person or a daughter. I'm not unappreciative or mindless. I'm reconciling my heart with my mind, my surroundings, and my people. It's not a science. I'm doing a good job. It'll never be done or untouchable, so no need to stress for that. See if right now can be the finish line and make every now the finish line. That's kind of cool. Wait. Reconciling my heart with my mind, my surroundings, my people. It's not a science. I'm doing a good job. It'll never be done or untouchable, so no need to stress for that. See if right now can be the finish line and make every now the finish line.
Damn.
Be present.
I know we ask this every time, but like, what your process of journaling? I mean, like you write, like you almost write as if you're going to present it. Like there's metaphors, there's images. Do you like set a timer and write, or do you like have goals?
No.
It's impressive.
Thank you.
I think I sound condescending, but I'm impressed.
No, you don't sound condescending.
No.
I don't set a timer. It's usually like I have a lot of feelings and they're racing through my head. So putting them down on paper is helpful.
Right.
Well, I just think Andy has a point in like, I mean, for me, like when I'm writing, I'm also like I feel a big part of my personality has always been trying to like, I don't know.
Perform.
Yeah, perform and like get on one of these shows, and like I'm writing in a
Yeah.
voice where I'm like, even when I'm writing for myself, I'm writing like,
Imagining someone else reading.
yeah, exactly. Yeah.
It's interesting.
I think for me, like when it comes to specifics, like if I don't know, I don't see any metaphors in this one, but if I'm writing in metaphor or
Mhm.
if
You
I
wrote
draw,
about a dollhouse. You're all
I
in a little
did.
dollhouse.
yeah. So when I do things like that, it's for me to be, because I'm a visual learner.
I see.
And so when I can like put things into analogies, it helps me a lot. Like,
Well, that's cool.
yeah, we'll just leave it at that. But I do think, Justin, there's something to be said about that. Like writing, imagining there's an audience, because when I wrote this, I guess we were doing Journal Me Fine at this point, but
Day after
None
my
of-
birthday.
yeah,
Yeah.
but none of
We were.
Shut up.
but I have like years of journal entries at my disposal, so I never expect or plan to read something this recent. So I'm definitely not writing it being like, oh, I'm going to read this on Journal Me Fine. But I think when you think about how the human mind works and ego and stuff, I think there's always a part of me that's like, well, when I leave the earth, there's going to be all these words and all my thoughts left in these books, and someone's going to see it. And that would be validating to me that I was here and that I existed. So
Yeah.
I guess in that way, it is written expecting someone else to read it. But I think that's just like an ego human thing.
Yeah. I mean,
And any like analogies and stuff is how I understand my own situation.
that's
Then why don't
fair.
you just freaking play categories with your dad?
Dude, I know. That's what it is.
No,
a hard
you know
question
what?
though, right? And
I
especially
have like memories of myself in kindergarten, even. I know, because I was in a Catholic school. We had to wear purple polos tucked
Mhm.
into khaki shorts with a belt and black shoes. And I remember every day I would do my hair, and in my brain, I would pretend like there was a whole camera crew watching me. And so I would like perform like doing my hair and shit.
Yeah,
So
That's funny.
I know. I think I used to walk around like I had a live studio audience.
Yeah,
also.
exactly. Like even while I was a kid, I would be like
Yeah, me too.
like
Not
pretend.
now, obviously.
No,
Not
not
now.
now. I'm fully satisfied by my own approval and validation, and I need no one else.
Yeah.
Just kidding.
Now I live in Arizona, and I'm thinking, maybe I'll just settle here.
Jesus. The one thing I was gonna say was about this categories thing, and you guys can speak to this, having parents who are still married. But as far as being a kid with divorced parents, I've always felt this pressure that, like, when I spend time with my parents, it's not just like, oh, I'm home and I live here and this is normal and like I can go hang out with my friends or do whatever I want, and that's just like what being a kid is. Like, for the past 8 years of my life, being with either of my parents is like a visit. And so it always feels like time needs to be spent in a way that's special and unique, because
Yeah.
if I'm with my dad this week, I might not be with him for another 3 weeks.
Right.
And so what would normally be like, yeah, it's just a Sunday and I just want to spend time at home, I'm faced with this pressure of like, my dad wants to go do this or this activity. And then I'm like, well, is this a cats in a cradle type situation where I'm like pushing my dad away and I'm going to regret not spending time with him? Or is this an unfair precedent that's put on a child of divorce that's like, you need to make every day with your parent a fun activity day?
Yeah, you almost become the parent.
Yeah.
For real.
Yeah, and that's a whole other conversation. But
Thank you, Amy, for letting me speak here right now. In case you can hear. I'm happy to be here. And Larry, I'm happy every time I'm there too. I don't have
They're
a
great
strong
parents.
game.
they're great parents. It's just a divorce dynamic
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
like personal guilt that I put on myself
Yeah.
also.
And that's something that, me and Andy will never understand. And
Well, don't say never.
Justin,
There's
nice
still
job.
time.
Now we have to knock on wood.
Yeah.
but Andy and I have developed
One
pretty
sec, Justin, your mom's actually got me.
okay. Excuse you.
Wait, what'd she say?
No one's fucking calling me. Got you.
You
Wow.
totally got us.
My parents ask about you pretty much every day, Andy. So fuck you.
I noticed that
Hey.
they don't ask about me. I find
What's
that
that about?
weird. Yeah, what's that about?
I don't know.
So sheepish, not making eye contact.
Right, because I am a household name for
I
sure.
can't wait to find out what happened. I haven't seen my parents in a year, so
So if your dad asked to place categories, you would do it.
yeah, it's also
No
totally
question.
different because you've always, other than your like study abroads, you've been in the same state as your parents or even
Yeah.
city. Whereas like for me, it's like, well, when I go home, it's just like I don't have to deal with having to be around them for multiple months in a row.
You mean you're
know?
unlucky because you don't get to?
Correct.
The other thing I was gonna say was, it's difficult because you only have so many hours in the day and in the week, and like there are a million creative projects that I like to be doing at the same time. Like in my house, there's always like glue in one area, and then there's beads scattered about and crystals and paint, and like I have a million feet in a million different worlds, and I already don't always get to do all the things that I love to do. And I like the idea, it was just so hard for me to swallow the idea of making time to place categories in every single week of my life when like I'm not playing guitar as much as I'd like to. And like I'm like it's a hard thing. And then if someone like just passes, like, do you regret those things? Or even if I had spent all that time with my dad, I would still miss him, you know? So it's
Yeah.
death is such a hard thing. Like I remember when my grandpa was dying, and I would spend time with him, and I like noticed his hand on the table one time, and I had this thought that's like, Molly, memorize every vein in his hand, like every crease in his skin, like take it all in because he's gonna be gone. And then I was like, even if I did that, even if I spent every waking moment that I had left
You're
with
still
my
gonna feel
grandpa, I'm
lost.
still gonna, yeah.
And you're
It's
not
hard.
gonna remember all the veins.
I'm not gonna, yeah. And the
It's too
veins
many.
aren't really relevant.
There's too many veins.
I mean,
There's a lot of
honestly,
veins in the
Molly,
human body.
you're straining your brain trying to memorize those veins because there's-
Nice. I'm sorry, that could be a title. Straining your brain, trying to
Straining-
memorize those veins.
You're gonna strain your brain if you try to memorize the vein.
If you try to memorize the veins, you're gonna
No,
strain
but-
your brains.
Molly, I completely know what you mean.
I think like the overarching theme when you start thinking about mortality and stuff like this is not taking things for granted and also not being too in your head about it. Like I was trying so hard to not take my grandpa for granted that I wanted to memorize every crease in his skin. Like there has to be a happy medium there. And the same is true with like my dad. Like I can love my dad and want to spend time with him. And I can also set boundaries and say, these are my needs and these are my interests. And weekly categories isn't like when I'm retired and I do weekly bingo. There's a reason people do that when they get retired and not when they're 23.
Right.
And
Which are you?
I'm retired and 23.
Got it.
Not by choice. I'm actually not retired. I was just never hired.
For sure.
And the last thing I was gonna say is, if you guys listened to last week's ep, you know that I had a little bit of a duty situation occur, which sucked and sucks. And in addition, I have a very close member, a very close family friend who's basically family now by marriage, and is young. Just this week, they found a tumor in his brain, and it's cancerous, and it's stage 3, and it's really
Fuck, man.
like it's terrifying how the world can change overnight, and it's given me a lot of perspective about like what it's given me a lot of perspective. It's given me a lot of perspective on the little things that drive us crazy in life and like how actually important those things are. And that's not to invalidate the pain that I'm feeling in like mourning a relationship, but it does sort of take the weight away from it a little bit. That's like, well, I still have my life and my health, and this person still has their life and their health, and I'm appreciative of that.
Yeah.
And I hope that continues to be the case.
Well, Molly, I love you and I'm here for you. And I'm
Thank
sure
you.
Justin is the same. And Justin, I love you and I'm here for you. No,
No.
he's shaking his head no.
Don't speak for me, Andy.
Justin, are you here for me?
You know, I'm not one for making promises. I never have been.
Right. Yeah. And do you love me or?
And it's actually
And keep in mind, I actually really need this right now. So do
You
you?
looking
Oh,
at
you're
a
checking
watch?
your watch. What time is it? Do you have to go?
Actually, I'm
Get
supposed.
closer to the mic when you check.
Yeah, talking to the mic. Jim.
I'm supposed to get to work in 3 hours, and
Right.
I have to shower, and I
Right.
You
Just
are-
a
you- I
quick
thought you
yes
already
or no
showered.
question. Do you love me?
Oh my god. You guys are so stupid.
I don't have jack crap for you guys today. I didn't bring anything of mine. I brought something better. I brought something cooler. You know what we
God.
received? You know what we received a while ago,
What did we
actually?
receive?
Did someone send us nudes in the mail?
No, it's better than nudes.
Damn.
What?
Justin?
My nudes?
Is it
No,
a
not
person?
your nudes. It's not a physical person.
Did we get a dog?
Guys, these are all horrible guesses. We got an entry from a listener that we
Shut
don't
up.
even know personally.
Shut
That's
up.
amazing.
Oh, yeah.
Thank you, listener.
Thank you, listener. And you can be just like this listener if you email us at
Send us your
journalmefine
entries.
at gmail.com.
Please
We can
So-
keep your anonymity if you'd like, or we can
disregard it on a
completely.
whim. We don't
could
give,
also
we
ignore
don't
it.
give a crap. We will
We don't give a
expose
damn
you.
about you or your boundaries.
Except for Daniel. We love Daniel. Daniel, thank you for sending this in. He said I could use his name. And there's a lot going on. We got 2 pages of a PDF.
Oh, I'm so
And
excited.
Just to give you guys some context, all right? The email was very short. It was something like, here's my journal entry, right? He wrote a real email inside of the PDF. So he
Oh,
created a whole document and
Just for
exported it just for us.
Daniel.
Thanks,
So he
Danny.
starts off LMAO, hey y'all, my name is Daniel.
Hey.
I'm a small Mexican from Southern California. And then he lists his stats, his weight, his height, his hair, his skin color, his
we can
race.
skip all of that. We
His
No.
race says
It's
badass.
very important.
And we could have guessed that just from the way he was talking.
Absolutely.
Not to generalize, but I knew badass for sure.
Of course.
So I'm Daniel. I'm sorry if I shortened some of this because we got a lot of juicy stuff here. In context, he says he's 21 years old. He found us through TikTok like a fat ass minute ago, and he's a big fan.
He's so
Um,
cool.
I
Fat ass
know.
a minute ago.
And then he gave a little bit of context for these names. These names are fake names. They're all his friends, except Nick is his brother, is the context
Okay.
that you need.
Okay.
All right.
And Nick isn't really his brother's name.
I believe that's correct.
Okay.
But we don't need to know that. Justin, it looks like that bit of information just sort
I
of
feel like-
confused you.
Yeah,
so
I feel like I
let's-
confused you, Justin.
You know, I take,
Daniel's talking. Nick is his brother. There are other names they represent Daniel's
Okay.
friends.
Yes.
I require a lot of explanation, but I
Me
think,
too.
I think I
Yeah.
got it.
Okay, here it comes. July 1st, 2017. Well. A lot has happened that has not been recorded, so let's go right into it. Well, I graduated on May something. I don't really care that much because graduation is overrated and high school is super easy. Grad night was a good time though. They had obstacle courses, karaoke, rock climbing, arcade games, poker tables, a magician, a huge raffle, and a hypnotist who was pretty cool. Prom also happened. I asked none other than Andrea Gomez with the casual flowers and poster that Angela made. It was about The Office, the TV show. We were matching really good and might have been the best looking couple in our friend group, but it was a good time overall. Things were a little awkward, but they always are because it's high school, which is really awkward. We danced all night and it was a good time. Well, I'm not sure if I've written it down in here, but I dropped AP Calc right at the end of the first quarter because it was too hard and I wanted an easy senior year, so I became a teacher's assistant with Brian for Mr. Clovis. Although, when I took my SAT and did the math section, I realized I had forgotten everything. So me and Brian wanted to be prepared for college. So we joined back into AP Calc at the beginning of the semester, and let me tell you, it was one of the worst decisions of my life, but also a great one. Every day I would come home and stress out about that class and would fail every test because I literally missed the first semester until I got tutoring with Nick's college friends, and I started to get D's on my tests
Oh,
instead of
baby.
F's, huge, which was slowly bringing my grade up. I needed to pass this class as well because if I got a D, then my admission to my future college could have been revoked. I was stressed about this until the last minutes of my final day of school when I went to check my grade and my teacher, Mrs. Clock,
Mrs. Clock.
put in the grade early, and my grade went from a 69 to a 70 with the
No.
final, and I passed the
Keep
class.
the 69. Come
We
on.
Please.
passed the class, which was a pretty great achievement. God bless her soul.
Is that written?
We got more. Also, yes, that's written. God bless her soul. Also from this class, I
She
was
died?
able to talk. No. She raised
Mrs.
his
Clock is
grade.
alive and well. She's just blessed and has a great soul.
I think it's-
Continue.
Also from this class, I was able to talk to Rebecca. She was the girl from the beginning of the journal that I had met last summer. She was in tennis. Since I got out early after 5th period every day and my mom had to babysit my cousins, there was no one to pick me up from school. So I would go down to the tennis courts and talk to her. This actually goes to present day. I've been talking to her for a little over a month now, daily.
Happened to Andrea Gomez. Andrea.
I don't think this relationship will last because she's a bit wild for me. She does some bad stuff, but I try to keep my distance when she does that stuff.
What stuff, Daniel?
I've been talking to her. I've been talking to her because she's interesting. We have gone out 3 times, but just as friends.
Give me her number, actually.
2 of the times we've gone egging houses. Let me tell you, egging houses is a lot scarier than it looks. We parked the car at the end of the block and sprinted about 50 feet in front of the house and chucked 3 eggs each. That's 3 eggs each and sprinted back to the car.
It's not a lot
She's
of
a
eggs
good
compared to the
time.
size of a home.
She's a good time, but we are 2 different people, honestly, and I don't think it will ever truly work out as a relationship. The end. LOL. We actually ended up dating for a few months after I recorded this, but we ended it at the beginning of October that year. LOLs. Lastly, and then he says a nice thing to us.
Aw.
And that's the entry, guys. I think I also left out context. It's from 2017, so I was 17 at the time. So as you know, time goes on and you eventually grow out of it and stuff.
I haven't grown out of anything in my life.
Wait, okay, so he wasn't egging with the teacher, right?
No.
Jesus Christ.
No.
Mrs. Clock was only relevant because she changed the 69 to a 70.
Well,
Okay,
but
right.
Mrs. Clock was also relevant because that is where he got to talk more to Rebecca. Rebecca was in that class. They also talked when he
I
would
thought
go
they talked
walk
on
to
the
the
tennis
tennis
court.
courts and
Oh.
stalk her.
But he was in Calc.
But yeah, Rebecca was also in that class.
I love the idea of this girl being like dangerous, and then the one example we get is that she
Yeah,
eggs
she
houses.
I
And
love-
that's her date of choice.
It's like a modern day freaking
Daniel, come with me. Come on. Let's be crazy.
Where are
no
we going?
protection.
I don't
Let's
think I
just
can.
fucking egg this house.
Wow, you're wild and interesting.
Where should we get the eggs from?
I
They
don't
also
know.
only threw 6 eggs. So did they bring a dozen in a box or did they
They
carry the
must have.
6?
I mean, this is a
If you brought a dozen, throw a dozen,
it's
you
a
know?
it's a 2017 John Green novel right here. We're looking at.
Ooh.
I mean, we're talking about
looking
a,
for Alaska, more like looking for
Forever.
Daniel and Rebecca.
Yeah, I mean,
Yes.
Manic Pixie Dream Girl, Manic Pixie Egg Girl.
Whoa.
Exactly.
She's down to egg houses. She's
Yeah, I
down
love-
to do the
I'm-
TPing, and he's a little prick boy. He's
I feel like
afraid.
Andrea Gomez was shortchanged.
Yeah, well, I think, high school moves fast,
If you don't stop and smell it.
High school moves fast if you're trying to look at frat houses and
That's
you
true.
know, high school moves fast if you're looking ahead.
Correct.
I
And, you
couldn't
know-
agree less.
And college moves fast if you're looking at trying to, be on SNL or be a writer for The Onion or some shit.
Right.
Some stupid dream.
It's just the years. I mean, they feel longer because
So long.
They in high
Because
school they do.
High school is
you
hell.
change so much so quickly.
Yeah, think about
But that's what I mean by it moves fast is like, yes, it feels really long and really important, even though it's only 4 years, but you change so much that it's
Mhm.
like the next year, you moved on from Andrea. I'm sorry.
But wasn't
But
it the same
Rebecca wants
year?
to egg houses. I don't know how long it was.
Yeah, I
This
mean, think
Rebecca
about it,
chick, I want to
like-
know more about her.
think
Single
about
now.
think about like 2012 to 2016. We're 14 until like 17 around
Oh,
there.
your voice didn't drop. In 2012, you had the highest voice.
I
of
did.
anyone
I
ever
was a
knew.
late bloomer. I didn't hit puberty
Aw.
until like mid like 10th grade.
Yesterday.
And it's been till
Yesterday.
that's just a genetic fault.
It's
And-
not a fault. I'm gonna find.
fault.
And
I have videos of you talking freshman year of high school, and we'll post one. That's so.
I had
it's just the
braces and I
funniest.
looked
Can't
like I
wait.
should have been in 4th grade.
Wait,
really
can we
did.
also
you
let's do
know,
a slide post of all of us with braces
Come-
and big toothy smiles?
Come 11th and a half
I've
grade,
Never had braces.
my voice started to drop, but I was self-aware.
You were self-aware.
I think
you were very mature.
I think I had a tweet in junior year where I was like, I'm so excited to
voice
be in 11th grade. I finally look like a 9th grader or something.
That's
Classic.
awesome. I, for one, have so much inspiration for improv after Daniel's entry, and
This was great. I do just want to hammer down. This is my
Yeah.
favorite sentence of all time. Okay, it's 2 sentences. I don't think this relationship will last because she's a bit wild for me. She does some bad stuff, but I try to keep my distance when she does that stuff.
and then what? 2 sentences later, we hear about them going on egging
So
sprees.
trips.
we took a shit on a
What other
porch.
stuff?
Hey, diary. Last you heard from me, I hadn't egged before.
Wait, that's the other thing is you can totally. It's cool to hear someone else's journal entry
Yeah.
because we're hearing. I know we did Maddie's, but she was really young. So to hear like a young adult entry, you can totally tell that like he has a narrator voice too, like
True.
has an audience in mind, even if he was just
Yeah.
journaling for himself. I bet we all do.
I feel like, I don't know if it's like an insecurity thing. I think maybe it was just for me. It was like, if anybody, God forbid, for lack of a better phrase, if somebody found it
Found this.
and
yeah.
read it,
You want it to be a fast read for them.
exactly. I want it to be at least like readable. I could never just like put ink to paper on straight from my brain because
That's why
It's
I
really
do the
hard to
digital
do.
locked note where I free write and lock it with a password because I'm like, I want no one to ever see this.
Yeah.
Until now, we do this stupid fucking podcast where I have to read it, but I choose to
You
read
promised
Daniel's
you weren't
instead
going
of
to
my
call
own.
it that on air.
What stupid fucking podcast?
yeah, how
It's-
dare you?
It's the alternate title. I thought
This
we
is
all agreed on that.
This is all
No.
I have.
That's all I have too, but it's still a stupid fucking podcast.
I started this new thing where I journal like no one's going to read it.
That's
Mm.
good. That's probably
It is
That's how it ought to be.
insane,
It's
the kind of
insanity.
stuff that comes out of me.
You know
it
what?
sucks for you because you're gonna have to read it to us.
You know what?
I don't.
My journal, you know what my journal is that I don't worry about people
What?
reading?
What is it?
It's what I text you guys
Yeah.
in our group
Yeah.
chat.
Checks
Got
out.
it. That makes sense.
And
That makes
that's
a lot of
absolutely-
sense.
That's it.
Absolutely.
I would never the shit I tell you guys, I would never be that vulnerable on a pen to paper
Alone.
platform.
Well, we've made great strides. We talked about ass play. Lest you forget.
Yeah, it's
Huge,
You know,
man.
gotta-
Really
Yeah,
cool.
I hope let's get some listener opinions. Like, validate Justin. Let's hear from some more hetero boys who enjoy prostate stimulation.
Little thing in the ass.
help me out.
Hey, you scratch my ass, I'll scratch yours.
Hi.
Hey, mom, dad, can I talk to you guys real fast?
Of
Yeah.
course, baby.
Anytime.
Thanks. Hey, you know how we play Rummy Cube every week, once a week?
Certainly.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's awesome and stuff. And like I really like playing with you guys and stuff.
Well, we hope so. We
Yeah.
brought you into this earth.
We hope
For
so.
sure. And like I think some teens might not even want to play every week, but I do, and I really do like to.
And that's why you're our special little Patrick.
Ow my
Special little
cheeks! Ow my
Patrick.
cheeks!
Oh, sorry. I pinched
It's
so
okay.
hard.
Oh, owie. But yeah, no, I love you guys and stuff. I think maybe I should take a step away for a week or two just because you guys fucking crush me at Rummy Cube so bad. It's like actually starting to really affect my self-esteem because you guys are just so much better at it than I am, and I also
Sweetheart.
think you cheat and break the rules.
No. Well,
But yeah, do
sweetheart, we've been playing a lot longer than you because we're so
We-
much older. I mean,
We have a lot more
right.
experience.
That's all.
yeah, so maybe I should be playing with kids my own age. Maybe I play Rummy Cube at my school and not.
How would you get better if you were playing with people less good than you?
Well,
Honey,
maybe-
this is all this is shocking. Where's this coming from?
This is dress rehearsal.
This is what rehearsal?
This
Dress
is
rehearsal?
dress rehearsal, bitch.
For what? For what show? I don't want to be some sort of Rummy Cube master, okay? I do it because I love
This
you guys.
is for when you practice with your friends.
What?
Your dad has a point. What happens? What, you're going to get to college, your friends are going to be like, "You want to play Rummy Cube?" And you're going to show up and
What, lose?
know how to play at the level of a high schooler because you stopped playing with your brilliant parents?
That's not.
Because one day you decided it wasn't good for your self-esteem?
That's not.
What if
how I
Michael
raised my
Phelps
fucking
chose
kid.
not to swim in Olympic swimming pools? What if Michael Phelps said, "I'm only going to swim in puddles
You
because
think-
then I can really exceed"?
you
I don't
think-
want to be an Olympics level Rummy Cube player.
Well, that's your problem, sweetie.
What are you talking about? You don't want to.
I don't want to be a professional Rummy Cube player. I don't think that exists. I want to just I want to skateboard and I want to chew bubble gum and I want to
What?
skateboard and chew bubble gum like a
This is
regular cool punk teen.
Violating to my ears. It's like I don't even know my son anymore. One day you were my baby Patrick, and now I don't recognize you.
You
Mom,
see-
look at Dad. Look at him. He's
George.
he's wrinkling. Your constant Rummy Cube playing is not good. He's wrinkled from straining his face trying to add the numbers correctly to figure out what's a
George?
set.
George, is this true?
I'm trying my best to add the numbers.
Oh my god.
Every time we play, I try my best to add the numbers.
It doesn't help that he's not good at math, Mom. This
It's-
has to stop. It's
it's a-
getting out of hand.
Listen, I didn't want to be the last to say this, but it's affecting my blood pressure, which affects my diabetes when I try to add the numbers.
It's not good for
George.
him.
I've
it's
never
not
heard you
good for
talk this
you,
way
Mom.
before.
You know,
How do you know?
maybe it's time to be real. He's an adult.
I'm not, but yeah.
You're 18, Aren't- right?
I'm 17, but
Going on
appreciate-
18.
sure, whatever line of thinking you're going down, I feel like it's better than what it was before. So go on.
He might be going on 18. Maybe it's time we vomit the truth into his mouth like Baby Bird.
George,
Ew.
no. George.
What? Tell me. What?
Don't do
Huh?
this.
Huh?
George,
What?
get that look out of your eyes.
Tell me the
George.
truth.
The
You can't
world
take
is a
this back.
cold, dark place.
Oh my god. I told
And
you.
when my little
He shuts the
brother,
blinds.
when
He
my
locks the door. He puts a giant lock on the door. He takes a hammer.
smashes the
He
lock,
smashes the lock
and then
and
he
the door.
swallows the key.
Oh, Dad! Ow! Doesn't that hurt? Oh God! Here, drink some water so it goes down. What the fuck is happening? Yeah, we're waiting. Hurry! Swallow the key. What?
George, sweetie, come on.
Don't lightly tap his butt like that. Just tell me the thing. Vomit the thing into my
Come on.
brain.
when my little brother was fighting in North Korea or South Korea, I mean, when he was fighting in Korea,
Not during the war, right? This
not
is
during the war. This was a
just,
separate
he just took
thing.
a trip. Yeah.
He was on a he was on a pub run. He saw some dirty shit.
George, you don't have
What
to
is-
tell us more. You don't.
No.
What does this
Honey?
have to do with Rummy Cube, Dad? Get your finger out of my nose.
When my little brother was on a pub run in North and South Korea, he saw some filthy crap.
George, You can't take this out of Patrick's ears. Once
You have to finish the fucking story, Dad. What does this have to do with Rummy Cube?
don't do this.
And he swore to me, whatever I do, I better show my son the correct way. How to gamble, how to play at a table.
No one plays Rummy Cube at a casino, Dad.
That's bull crap. And I promised him.
His fingers up Patrick's nose again.
I'm,
Oh my God.
and I promised my brother, no matter what, I would teach my son how to play at a table, no matter what game it was.
His face is slowly turning purple. Steam coming out the ears.
Oh, Dad, please.
And if I didn't do that, my brother would die in vain.
The screen pauses. Rebecca turns over to Daniel. So yeah, that's those are the kind of movies I make. What do you think about that? Is that kind of wild for you?
Yeah, Rebecca, that's wow. I've never seen anything more than PG rated, so
Really?
yeah, this talk of death and violence and stuff is pretty intimidating.
Jeez, yeah. Me and Andrea, my best friend, who you used to date,
Yeah.
we've never seen anything below PG-13.
Holy crap.
Yeah, so
You mean you've never seen anything rated G?
no, why would I? I'd rather watch anything else.
You're so much cooler than me.
Here, have some popcorn. I'm gonna go to the cupboard real fast.
Can I just
Okay.
say, I am so happy to be the guy in the group that doesn't have to do shit. Because you guys are a freaking whirlwind.
Johnny, no one invited you today.
For sure. But
Yeah,
unfortunately, I was assigned to your group.
right.
So,
It is unfortunate.
It's really unfortunate. Especially because Rebecca and I sort of have something going here and
There's obviously a vibe.
I'm trying to make my move during
Yeah.
this little study sesh.
so obviously it won't be a problem when the professor hands out the worksheets and we say we have to grade each other.
We're still in high school, so we don't have professor.
When the teacher or whatever
Yeah, the peer review sheets. I mean,
peer review sheet, just
we
the-
don't care.
Yeah.
Rebecca, why don't
I
I,
know.
handle this? You head over to
Okay.
the cupboard.
All right, I'm gonna get popcorn.
Yeah,
More
so-
popcorn.
I
Oh,
grab
from the
Johnny
cupboard.
by the neck. Listen up. Listen up and listen good. This is my one shot with this whore. Do you hear me? I will never, ever have another chance with such a badass bitch ever again, okay? Okay. She's incredible. She's crazy. And she drives me wild. And I need you to just shut your little face and your frothy lips.
I'll shut my
and
freaking
just,
trap.
just. I kiss him passionately. He kisses me back. I slowly release his neck. We're making
What?
out.
What the hell? What the hell is going on?
Rebecca, sorry, it's just
Um,
a moment of passion.
what the screwball, Daniel? What the screw loose?
Johnny falls to the floor.
Did you just knock Johnny out with your lips?
No, he was about to say something. What were you going to say, Johnny? Johnny? Johnny, come back.
Oh my god, the last thing I remember is you and I were making out.
Oh, I knew it.
I grab him by the throat. We start kissing again passionately.
Stop. Stop it. Stop.
Sorry, Rebecca. I thought you would like this raw passion.
This is the wildest thing anyone's ever done.
I know.
It's
and
offensive. It's violent.
what?
It's wild.
I just wanted to show you that I could be like you.
It's the hottest thing I've ever seen.
Really?
Will you go to prom with me?
I would love to go to prom with you. Johnny's dead on the floor, foaming at the mouth.
All right, guys. Let's huddle up real fast.
Cool.
Listen, this is a big competition. You're both facing, you're facing competitors who are better than you. And that's just what it is. This is tennis. And Justin, you're facing Cleo, and we know Cleo is a top tier player. Molly, you're facing Chupacabra, and we know Chupacabra is incredibly good and famous and many tales in South America and other places. So just be careful out there. But know that me, your coach, I've got your back no matter what. Although not on the court because it is, it's one-on-one tennis.
No.
So
Thanks, Brian.
yeah, of course.
Hey, Brian, let me ask
What's up,
you
man?
this. Did Cleo's ever parents lock you in a basement and pretend your house was on fire? Run a fire drill while you were locked
What did
in?
you just say to me? What did you just say to me?
Did Cleo's parents ever lock you in a basement and pretend the house
Nope.
was on fire?
And while we're on the subject, did Chupacabra's parents ever tie you to a tree with a rope, pour gasoline all over you, and then stand 2 feet away from you with a lit match?
What did you say? What did you say to me?
I'm just asking
I
you a
said,
question.
did Cleo's parents ever lock you in the basement and try to run a fire drill while they all ran out and took the dog? They took the dog even, and they left me in the locked basement. Did that ever happen to you, Cleo?
Yeah, and I said, did Chupacabra's parents ever tie you to a tree?
What?
My competitor, Chupacabra?
Chupacabra?
Chupacabra. Did their parents ever tie you with a rope to a tree, pour gasoline all over you, and then stand 2 feet away with a lit match, threatening your life?
Now,
And
I
let-
want to be perfectly
and let
clear
me-
to the both of you.
Yeah.
Are you asking if this has happened to me rhetorically because
No.
it's happened to you, or because you heard the stories that these things have happened to me because that's why I'm the tennis coach, because I've lived through some crazy stuff.
You don't
and
know
I've seen some.
what we have been through.
I'll get your finger out of my eye.
You don't know what the crap we've been through.
You
And
don't
let
know
me
the
ask you
first
this.
thing about shit, Brian.
All of our noses are right next to each other. We're standing about a centimeter away from each other.
This is at the US Open, so it's dead silent and everyone is watching us.
We are mic'd.
Did Cleo's parents ever whip out a 8.5-inch string of floss and tie your cock to a faucet and turn it on all the way hot? Because I'm curious.
Whose cock? Whose cock?
My
Justin?
cock!
And I have a question. Did Chupacabra's parents
Chupacabra. It's a famous mythical creature. The Chupacabra.
Did Chewbacca's parents ever spread your ass cheeks wide, shove a garden hose up there, turn it on full force, and wait for that water to come out your nostrils?
Listen. I can smell both of your breath, and I can smell you smelling my breath. And I tell you one thing, and I'll tell it again. My name is Brian, and this is tennis. And you are playing singles out there, and I'm just here to help. So you're gonna go out there, and you're gonna face these fuckers.
I've got a question for you.
Yeah, and I probably will have one too.
Did Cleo's parents ever go to your local Target and buy beige Crayola crayon and color your asshole peach and stick the crayon paper inside of it and rip it out and call it a dinner dessert?
Wait a minute. No. Hold on. Wait, Molly, are you hearing this?
Yeah.
They took a beige crayon that they bought at
Let
the
me
local
ask
Target.
you another question.
No. Justin, actually, hold on, because we've both been through some crazy shit. But that sounds really messed up.
Let me ask you another question.
Let's hear him out.
Did Cleo's parents ever go to a Michael's and go into the wood section and look for the heart-shaped wooden pieces of 1.25-inch pieces of plywood and buy it and put it in a blender and put the shards of wood into a mixing blender with milk and mix it into a smoothie and drink it out of your butt with a straw.
Please rise for the national anthem.
Sorry.
No, you know what? Actually, hold on 1 second.
Yeah, cut the anthem. Cut
Cut
it.
the anthem.
Whoa!
Hold up.
Whoa!
Put your pants back on, Justin.
Whoa!
Put your pants back on.
Whoa! What are you talking about?
I have a follow-up question before the anthem.
When you took off your pants for the anthem?
I'm a patriot.
Put them back on
Keep 'em
until I
off.
finish my question.
I'm fascinated by what's happening down there.
Okay.
Did Chippequaqua's parents ever harvest your cousin's carrots, shave them one by one, put them in a spiralizer, creating zoodles of carrots, mix those around with some salt and vinegar, and then leave it all around the neighborhood, hoping that it would lead you home to a burning house where they were waiting for you?
No, they didn't, but let me ask you one more thing. Did Cleo's parents...
Cleopatra and Chupacabra jump over the net and beat the living shit out of all three of us with their tennis rackets. The crowd erupts in a noise that has never been heard at the U.S. Open. The flag reigns high and the national anthem blasts.
Did Cleo's parents ever stay
As he's being hit to death.
for the national anthem?
I pants Justin. His penis starts squirting red, white, and blue confetti.
His
Everyone
penis,
cries.
his penis is 4 centimeters wide, and his cum is yellow as lemon juice.
Jesus Christ.
Scene,
What
scene.
just happened?
Stop it. Oh
What-
my god.
What did
That
you
was-
guys? What did
that
you
was so
guys
good.
do?
Tim Robinson fucking hot dog sketch. Oh, we gotta find the guy who did this. Who did that improv?
I'm pissed. Who did that?
Oh my fucking
We
god.
gotta
Okay.
find the guy who did this.
Daniel, thanks for sending your entry. That's what you
Daniel,
caused today.
Thank you.
That was awesome.
I did realize I missed the disclaimer, which I feel like he probably wanted me to read this part. I had just graduated
course.
high school and was still this little edgy punk kid who thought he was cool, so I might come off as a bit of a douchebag in this, but time goes on, you eventually I didn't think he sounded
We
like a
didn't.
douchebag.
Yeah, you didn't sound like
he
a
Not
was,
at all.
He
He
was
sounded like a young
probably.
kid.
You sounded cool. Like a lot of girls
Way
were
cooler than
after
us.
your
He was
ass.
probably
Bunch of
cooler
kids.
than any of us were in that grade.
That's fair to say. I never
Guys, that was the
egged shit.
grossest improv we've ever done
I
in
don't
our
think
lives.
that's true. I really don't think that's true.
You really don't think so?
No.
Well,
You
it was
know-
definitely the most consistently gross. Maybe we've said grosser things, but
I blame
don't
Mollie.
know. I'll take it.
it's a team sport.
Yeah.
Guys, this has been fun. Anything before we go? Please
Yeah.
email us, journalmefine@gmail.com.
I gave a trigger warning before
Oh, yeah.
because I assumed that there would be certain things in my entry and they weren't there. It was, if you really listen to what I was saying though, the undertones,
Right.
you can gather all of that trauma, but I didn't speak about it
Sure.
exactly. And so maybe the trigger warning was misused. I just conflated two entries and I thought this one was going somewhere where it wasn't going.
And it was a safe bet because, not to, this isn't a drag, but, most of your entries go these ways.
Err on the side of caution.
a safe bet. That's true.
Better safe than sorry.
Thanks again, Daniel, Justin, Molly. It's been a pleasure. Follow us on Instagram, Journal Me Fine.
Please.
Email us to also be on the show. And let us tell us anything on any
And tell your
platform or
friends
email.
about us.
Oh, yeah, please do.
If
Thank
you're
you.
lucky enough to have a pal, you stupid nerd.
My head hurts. Write it down. I've got work. Write it down. My car died. Write it down. I've got no drive.
Uh, The car is a metaphor for motivation. So it's kind of
fine, I guess. Journal me fine, I guess. Journal me fine, I guess. Journal me fine, I guess.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for listening to Journal Me Fine.